Hey, what's up, everybody? Marcos Villegas for Fight Up TV, powered by Stagefront VIP. Being joined with Abel Sanchez as we are going to go ahead and recap the action that happened over the weekend. Devin Haney putting on a shutout, really a master class over Regis Prograis to claim a 140-pound belt, that being the WBC 140-pound belt. Abel, I was thoroughly surprised in the manner that Devin Haney got this win. I think he was favored for a reason coming into this fight. But myself, along with many others, felt like it would be more of a competitive fight, that Regis would win some rounds in there. Overall, how did you assess what Devin showed in the fight on Saturday?
He was favored for the right reasons. He's a better fighter, but I didn't think it was going to be that lopsided. He he fought a very, very good fight. Uh, I don't think that it's the kind of fight that is going to endear us with his kind of style, but he dominated a very good fighter, very good fighter. I didn't think it was going to be that easy for him, but props to him. Hopefully, he can do this again in the next fight, and maybe he'll be in my opinion, in that 3 or 4 guys that are at the top at the elite level in the 40 and 35 pounders.
What do you think made the difference, Abel? Is it a combination of things, or is it that Haney is that much better now at 140 because he's not depleting himself as much, and him being 26, that he's finally growing into his man strength?
That could be it. I never really gave that some thought, but you're absolutely right that those extra 5 pounds could make a difference in the mental attitude going into the fight. He's not having to sacrifice as much, and uh, he fought the kind of fight that he needs to fight to be able to command that the audience that he needs to command.
Yeah, like the other thing that I was thinking too, during the week, Regis had mentioned that he had a very, very long training camp. And kind of want to pick your brain on this. He mentioned he had like a 4-month training camp, and I spoke to some of the people on his team. They said like, yeah, he had a long training camp, but he would take week breaks amongst those 4 months. But like, it just got me thinking, like, man, like, is he overtrained coming into this? Is that going to affect him in the fight? Like, ultimately, the better man won. But what do you make of long camps like that?
Coming from a coach's standpoint, at least from my standpoint anyway, there's no such thing as a long training camp. There's no such thing as too much training. There's such a thing as too much sparring. That is very important that you don't do. But remember, all these guys, all these athletes in every sport, if they're not training 365 days a year, they're not playing. If a football player is not in training camp the whole year while he's off the season, he's not playing. Neither is a basketball player, neither is a baseball player. When they're in training camp, they're not actually doing preparation for a fight. They're in training camp maintaining and learning and progressing, or trying to progress anyway. So if he's with very good people, so I know that his people would not have sparred him for 4 months. That's impossible. His people prepared him for the fight as they should. That he was in training camp, that's a good thing. That way he's not having to lose weight at the last minute like most of these guys do. So there's no, in my opinion, there's no such thing as too much training. There's such a thing as too much sparring, but not too much training.
Yeah, I spoke to his trainers after the fight too, and they were like, "Hey, we had drilled how to cut the ring off. We had drilled, all this work on the inside, and just, we just wasn't able to do what we drilled for."
Yeah, a very good guy in front of him.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you hope that you can manipulate the fight in a way that you're training in the gym, but he had an exceptional guy in front of him, a guy that's in the top 2 or 3 or 4 in the world in those weight divisions, 35, 40 pounders.
You mentioned, or more or less alluded to it a little bit earlier, the style not being very pleasing. Did you like the fight? Like, did you feel Devin was exciting like over the weekend?
I like the fight only because he did things different.
Yeah.
He imposed his will. He did things that he wanted to do, how he wanted to do them. Now, as we go along um, in more fights, he will progress even more. But he did, just like we talked about David fighting the perfect fight at this moment in his career. At this moment in Devin's career, he fought the perfect fight, controlling doing what he wanted to do against a very, very good fighter.
Yeah, yeah. It's maybe this 140 division is can be the best weight for him. But after the fight, post fight, his dad and even Devin himself. You know what? Devin actually mentioned this during the week, wanting to move to 147. And mentioning Mario Barrios, Keith Thurman. I found it kind of weird. Weird in the sense like you guys just got there at 140 and you already want to go up to 147. Abel, what are your thoughts? If you're training a guy and he looks spectacular in one fight at 140, and then you start hearing, hey, I want to move up the next division.
You know, any amateurs, we coaches always wanted to make sure the fathers never wanted their sons to drop too much weight. In other words, if you're 135 pounds, fight at 135. As fight at a weight that is most comfortable for you. He found out that 140 pounds, one, he's not having to sacrifice. Two, I'm sure he feels the difference in the strength and power with the additional 5 pounds. And it's not so much the additional 5 pounds, it's the fact that he's not having to sacrifice to hit the 35-pound limit. So give him another 7 pounds. In his mind, he's going to be that much stronger. He's very skilled. So it's going to be difficult for guys to control him like when he's weak, let's just say at 135. Mayweather moved up in weight, and what the advantages that he had was not so much the weight, but the experience and the talent and the ability that he had. So it could work for Devin. How tall is Devin? 5'8", 5'9"?
Let me find out. Let me pull up his box rec. I know he's not 6 foot, that's for sure.
No.
Let's see here. Devin Haney box rec.
5'9" probably.
Maybe like looking at it first glance, I want to say that like around 5'9", 5'8". It's showing on his box rec. I don't know how accurate it is when they put this up, but yeah, 5'8", 5'8", 5'9".
Yeah, Terry Norris was a 154-pound champion, and he was 5'9", 5'9 and a half. So there is some unusual guys that like I think Virgil Ortiz is about around 6 foot or 5'11", something.
Yeah, 5'11", yeah.
Yeah, but those are, I think that he's somebody different and special in that weight. 147 could be a good weight for him if he feels strong and he feels that he can control the fight like he did in this fight at 147. More power to him. Mario Barrios would be a good fight for him, competitive fight, and if he can do the same thing to Barrios that he did to Prograis, and maybe we got a star to make it at 147.
Yeah, it's just there's so many guys, so many big fights to make at 140. That's why it kind of caught me off guard because you have Ryan, you have Teo, you have Sabril Matias, and you have Rolly.
But maybe we're running away from Matias.
I don't know. Bill did this interview with me yesterday. People said like, hey, like where he said that, he called to inquire about a fight with Matias, said he heard back from them and they said that they wanted like 4 million. I posted it, and then people on the internet are saying like, yo, Peter Khan's not Sabril Matias's manager. Like, what is Bill talking about? Maybe he got the names confused. And then we see Sabril went online and said, hey, like none of that was ever offered.
Right. No, I think there was an issue with his one of his hands after the fight. So it could have been that they're not available right now. But listen, there's a lot of people going to be running away from the 140-pound division, and he's going to have to move up to 147 to be able to get fights.
Wow. Yeah, you know what, Abel? I don't know. Is that true? Do fighters like? Have you ever encountered that or ever heard other fighters like mention that? Other fighters trainers saying like, "Hey, no, we don't want the work with that guy. We're gonna move up."
No, it's not necessarily that they don't want to work with him. What's the sense in taking a chance against somebody that it's like instead of fighting Golovkin at 160, let's fight one of the other titles. Let's fight Saunders. Let's fight Charlo. Let's fight some of the other guys. So there's guys that are boogeymen, let's just say, in a particular division that are not worth the money you're going to get paid, a loss, looking bad because you're not going to knock them out, and they're going to be difficult to deal with. So sometimes I'm not saying they're running away from them. It's just that this is business, man. This is a career that you have to take care of. In the amateurs, happened all the time. When you saw a guy that was in a tournament, you went to another tournament. You stayed away from that. From the fights that were not the best thing for your career.
And what's the point of like competing? Like, isn't that what sport is all about?
No, not really. The point of competing is maximizing your worth, maximizing your ability to make a living. unfortunately, in today's market, a loss, all of a sudden, nobody wants you. You're pariah. You know, it is a zero on your record is so important. Yet a loss probably makes you a better fighter because it brings you back down to earth. Um, People talk about so many belts that are available. In my opinion, as a coach, I want that many belts. Why? Because I want my peers, I want my other friends, my coaches to have the opportunity or the ability to crown a champion, and that makes it interesting for us, and makes it available for us not to have a second job. A lot of us are having to work 2 or 3 jobs just to be able to go to the gym and have those fighters that we hope one day will make us some money.
At the post-fight press conference, both Devin and Bill mentioned that how they feel that Devin should be fighter of the year. He has 2 big wins now: a win over Lomachenko, a win over now Regis, the champion at another weight class. What do you think, Abel? Do you think he should be in the running for fighter of the year?
I don't think so. I don't think he's had the names.
Wait, Loma's a big name. Loma, those are 2 big
Yeah,
names.
no, Loma's not, and Loma's the name of the past. I think that Terence is in the running. I think for me anyway. Benavidez is in the running for me. Um, Inoue is in the running for me. I don't think that Devin had the marquee names that would warrant him being up there, considered with those guys, in my opinion.
How does Benavidez? Because you know, Lomachenko is a bigger name than Andrade, bigger name than Caleb Plant. You know,
It's how. Remember what I said to you the last time? It's how you sell the product.
yeah.
You have to sell the product. Devin sold the product to a certain extent in this fight. He fought a very good fighter, and he controlled him. David fought a 3-time world champion. Yes, he hadn't fought in a while. Yes, he still has a long way to go. But the way that he fought the fight and the way that he controlled that fight, that's what makes the difference for me anyway. It's how you sell the product. That's what people remember. If you're going to say I'm going to sell a pay-per-view for $100, will I buy David or would I buy Devin? I'm going to buy David.
Well, it depends on the fight, right? Like
It doesn't
if
matter
Devin's
who's in
fighting
front.
like Ryan or Tank, like you know, like
It wouldn't. Yeah, well, the same thing if you sell David
yeah,
against a Charlo, let's
Canelo,
just say. Yeah, oh Canelo, yeah.
yeah. So
So I
yeah.
think
David versus Canelo or Devin versus Tank. Like, take my
okay.
money for both, but I would think I don't know. That's tough.
I think that most people would buy Canelo David because I think
I yeah, I think so
Canelo
too.
right now is I think Canelo's the face of boxing right now, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
like he's
He
still known more than both
well,
Canelo.
no, he's making more money. Listen,
Yeah.
this is about putting butts in the seats, man.
Hmm.
This is about Tank puts
Well,
butts in the seats, but how
yeah,
many seats?
both those fights would sell out.
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Those are fantastic fights. Yes, both of them.
You know, no, that's true. I think Inoue, like everybody's already saying, like, you know, so and so should be fighter of the year, blah blah blah. But I think Inoue, everybody needs to wait till this fight that Inoue has coming up right before New Year's, because if he beats Tapales, I think that's the second division in a year where he becomes undisputed, and like
Yeah.
at that point, like it's a no brainer. You got to give the guy the fighter of the year.
Yeah, but you have to remember though that all those things are determined by the U.S. If they don't fight in the U.S. and it's not programmed to be shown here in the U.S. at prime time, and there's people buying it in the U.S., it doesn't go as far, in my opinion. The money is here. The viewers are here. He may be doing all this thing in Europe and in Japan, but we're not seeing it.
Well, we are.
We're
It's on
reading about it.
ESPN.
Yeah, we're reading about it.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
boxing's like a international sport, no, Abel. Like
not really.
it should be like up to us to
It
give
should be.
guys like no, but to give guys like that shine and be like, no, wait a second, you got this guy over here that's doing even more amazing things. Like he should get these honors.
No, it should be, but it's not. Take for instance Calzaghe. Calzaghe was retired undefeated. Did we know about him here? Not until he fought some of the guys from here.
Well, he just fought 2 guys.
Yeah. Boy, he destroyed Lacey.
Yeah, but
Beat
Lacey
Jones.
wasn't that a big name, but an older Roy, an
But
older
it was shown
Bernard.
here. But what I'm saying, it
Yeah.
was shown here. That's what
Mhm.
I'm saying. It
Yeah.
was viewed here. If you'd have fought him and if you'd have fought another big name in Europe and we never heard about it, or we didn't see it live, or we didn't see it as we do here, then I don't think it would have been taken into consideration as it should. You're right. Inoue should be taken into consideration, but he has to be shown here in prime time.
or at least fighting here in the US.
Yeah, right. Well, he fought once. I think I saw him fight at the StubHub one time.
Yeah, at the StubHub, and then when he knocked out Maloney during the pandemic. But you know, it's tough. Like that guy is like Japan's #1 boxer, #1 athlete. Like he's not going to get the same. Yeah, he's not going to get the same paydays over here.
Otani, I think is #1 right now.
Yeah, but okay,
Correct.
correct. Boxer, he's #1 boxer and the second biggest probably sports figure behind Otani, who I don't even follow baseball, but I saw that contract, 700 million to the Dodgers. I was like, oh my
70 million a year. I think that he's making as much or more than any boxer that we have in that's active right now, even Canelo.